Heavy fighting continued around the eastern Ukrainian city of Avdiivka in the past week, even as representatives from dozens of countries met in Malta to discuss a peace proposal pushed by Ukraine, and while they traded accusations over attacks near nuclear-related sites in each country. British intelligence, in its latest information, said that Moscow may have sent elements of up to 8 brigades to the sector around Avdiivka and may have suffered the highest level of casualties in Russia in 2023 so far, which appeared to support statements by Ukrainian leaders who claimed Ukrainian forces had managed to repel several Russian attacks in the area. Earlier this week, White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said that Russia had suffered significant losses, including at least 125 armored vehicles and military equipment in and around Avdiivka. Battlefield claims in the war could not be immediately confirmed, and Ukrainian losses in the fighting could not be immediately determined. In the Bakhmut direction, during the first 18 hours of October 31, the Russian invaders failed to regain their lost positions near the recently liberated Klishchiivka and carried out air attacks on the neighboring liberated territories of Andriivka and occupied Kurdyumivka south of Bakhmut. At the same time, Defense Force fighters continued to carry out offensive actions on this front, causing losses in manpower and equipment to the invaders. An edited video of footage taken by an action camera of a soldier of the 4th Company of the 2nd Assault Battalion of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, fighting south of Bakhmut, shows how our soldiers defend in the trenches under enemy fire. And at the end of the plot, a fixed rotation is recorded and the new one instantly jumps out of the armored car, which quickly drives into position, and the old one just as quickly gets into it. Kyiv military officials say Russia has deployed its forces around the devastated eastern Ukrainian city of Bakhmut and has shifted its forces from defense to attack. In the Bakhmut region, the enemy has significantly strengthened its grouping and switched from defense to active actions, wrote General Oleksandr Syrsky, commander of Ukraine's ground forces, on Telegram. Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelenskiy, claimed that Russian forces had lost at least 1 brigade of troops while trying to advance on the city of Avdiivka in eastern Ukraine. Russia began a new effort to encircle the city at the center of the fighting in mid-October, trying to overwhelm Ukrainian positions with artillery strikes and a steady influx of troops and combat vehicles, according to reports. Meanwhile, Special Operations Center A fighters of the Ukrainian Security Service in the Avdiivka direction destroyed the Russian invaders' Tu-1A Sanstepak heavy flamethrower systems. Blogger and volunteer Serhiy Sternenko announced this on his Telegram channel, publishing a related video edited from footage taken by Kamkadz's drone and the controlling unmanned aerial vehicle. A barrage of ammunition overtook Sunset while it was driving on the highway. It stopped and burned, then exploded 3 times with superpower, detonating its own thermobaric munitions. Blogger Necromancer geolocated the incident site near occupied Novaya Novoslevka, north of Avdiivka. Perhaps this Sunset did not have time to fire its bullets at our defenders. On the other hand, the Ukrainian army downed another Leopard 2 tank after a Russian missile ambush disabled a Sturv 122, the Swedish variant of the Leopard 2A5, in an attack by the Ukrainian Army's 21st Mechanized Brigade on Russian positions in Orliansky, in eastern Ukraine, on or before Monday. The Sturv 122 killing bucked recent trends. While most of the Leopard 2's losses were caused by the 1-2 punch of mines and explosive-laden drones, the Sturv 122 fell victim to a skilled team firing a heavy anti-tank missile, perhaps a 60-pound Kornet. As the drone watched from above, a missile hit the 69-ton, 4-man Sturv 122 in the rear of its turret, where the tank stores most of the ammunition for its 120mm main gun. The ammunition is in a special compartment that has protection on the inner door, but the outer panel is more fragile. That way, if ammunition takes a hit and runs out, The resulting explosion will blow out through the panel, not into the turret. Ukraine and Russia's reliance on cheap but powerful drones in recent months has made their pilots prime targets beyond the front lines. Since the spring, the battlefield in Ukraine has increasingly been dotted with FPV drones flown by controllers who manipulate the vehicles in real time while wearing video game-like goggles and operating behind the front lines. This drone is inexpensive to produce but has powerful power. Ukraine has successfully flown cheap drones over Russian equipment, such as tanks and artillery, and dropped explosives, causing millions of dollars in damage and losses to troops. Although Ukraine once had a leading edge in drones, Russia is now starting to catch up, producing more sophisticated and larger drones, and improving its electronic warfare systems, which can withstand Ukrainian attacks. Although they often operate from behind front lines, drone controllers often leave electronic trails if they are not careful, allowing enemies to pinpoint and follow them. The Economist reported this week. Russia has used similar attack drones in Ukraine, but has also used high-precision artillery, mines, and glide bombs to defeat the enemy, the outlet reported. Ukraine relies heavily on volunteers and donations to control and supply drone supplies, while Russia has easier access to more expensive surveillance drones, so it has increasingly attacked Ukrainian positions near the front lines in recent months.